your microphone is off on your end so that we don't get background noise, and also make sure that your video is off. This is a Flipgrid session, so we are going to be participating in some interactive video recording so that you are able to see the teacher side of the meeting and the student-facing side of the meeting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the link to the Q&A questions for you all. I am also going to share, excuse me, my presentation with you so you can kind of follow along and then have it for later reference. So both of those links are in the chat now. So I am going to turn off my video on this and present my screen. So if you joined after I had just said this, make sure that your microphone is off so we're not hearing background noise on your end. And then if your internet connection hasn't been the best today, you can turn off your camera for better internet connection. And the chat icon that I just referenced a few minutes ago is in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And make sure that you're posting all of the questions for me during this session in the question and answer document and not in the chat, because the chat goes too quickly. So it's better just to have everybody put their answers in the question and answer document. And that way, if it doesn't get answered during this session, you can still go back and reference the document later on. So a little bit about me. My name is Lindsay Scales. I'm a digital coach for Denver Public Schools. This is my first year as a digital coach. Prior to this year, I was an elementary school teacher for 14 years. So I have a good feel of how all of you as educators are feeling at this current moment in time. My email is right there on the screen, so you can email me at any time after this session if you have more questions around remote learning with students. So getting right into this, what is Flipgrid? Flipgrid is a social online learning program or platform where educators share a class, or in Flipgrid world, a grid, and then share specific assignments. And again, in Flipgrid world, it's called a topic for students to complete. So basically, students are going to create videos and share the videos with the entire class. The videos can be reviewed by the teacher and other students, and participants can provide feedback to any video that has been created. So after you create your grid, you're going to create the topics or the assignments. So you can see in the top arrow here, this is one assignment or topic. And when you click on it, you get the topic details to see how many people have posted. And you can click on each individual post to see the information or the video that that student has uploaded. So I want to show you that now so you get a better feel for what I'm talking about. So this is my home page. I'm signed in as myself over here, and I have different options at the top here, but you want to go to the one that says My Grids. And then down here, it's a list of all of your grids. Again, each one of these grids is a specific course that students can access, and all the content for that course is inside the grid. So if I click on my, excuse me, my example class, this is what I will see as a teacher. If I click on one specific assignment, I can see the people who have responded. I'm going to show you what a student response looks like, just really fast.
Hey, Lindsay, we can't hear that video playing.
Oh, you can't? Okay. I'm sorry about that. I'm wondering if I disconnect. If I disconnect my Bluetooth here and just have it play through here, if that's easier. Let me know if this works, please. Thank you for chiming in and letting me know.
To solve word problems, I like to break it down into the most important parts.
Thank you, that works.
And a word problem like this, I would say that 4 is important. That is 4 chickens. They each lay 1 egg each day is important.
So you kind of get a feel of how the students can record their videos. This is the teacher view. In a few minutes, I'm going to give you guys a chance to walk through this as a student. But over here, you can see that there is a place for you to give video feedback to this particular student. There's also a grading rubric. You can edit this rubric over here. But I would click down here and I would say this student had 5 out of 5 for their ideas and 5 out of 5 for their performance. And it is already, you can see right here, automatically saved. So that student will get the feedback right away after you exit out of here. So, oh, where am I going here? Sorry. The biggest thing that I want to kind of share with Flipgrid is the idea of face-to-face interaction. Flipgrid gives students a way to not only interact with you, but also interact with each other. I know that social distancing for kids can be really, really rough and they feel isolated. So even if you don't use this in an academic way, this might be a tool for you to use so students can just kind of socialize with each other. So that's a kind of different way to look at it. If you're throughout this, just like, how am I going to use this in my classroom? So setting up basics, what is a grid? A grid is your classroom, like I said. It's basically like a course in Schoology or a classroom in Google Classroom. This is where you start first. It's your home page for all of your students. So I am actually at this time going to set up a grid on my end so you can kind of watch, and then we'll do a question and answer, kind of stop for a minute, and then I'm going to ask you to join one of my courses so that you have the feel of what it's like from the student perspective, and also being able to view it from my perspective as the educator. So if I go in and I sign in with my account, I've got my grids over here. I'm going to add a new grid. What it asks you to do is name your grid. You could name it period 1, 2,
period 3-4, math, literacy, whatever the content that you are sharing with students, that should be the name of the course. Then you have to choose how you're going to share it with students. I suggest sharing with student email, because then the students just log in with their email account and it automatically populates. If you do the student ID option, you can see it says create a list of student IDs to join your grid. So you would basically have to upload a CSV document. So it takes a little bit more time on the teacher end of this. If you share it publicly, it's shared with everybody in the world. So anybody could access your course. So I think during this remote learning time, that would probably not be the best option for you. So I'm going to choose school email. And then if you go down here with the create the flip code, this is the code that you're going to share with your students through Schoology or Google Classroom or email, whatever platform you're using to send content to students. You can rename it if you want, but it is just entirely up to you what you would like to do. I think the course that you guys are going to join today, I just named course 2 for 326. So here I've got the school email option, and right here the domain name is dpsk12.net, and all the students have that as their domain. So that is the only thing that needs to be done in this section. So I click next. Again, this is the code that you will share with students. There's an option to share it right to Google Classroom. We don't use Microsoft Teams, so that doesn't really work. There's a you can copy the embedded code, and there's a way in the Schoology world to embed this into a Pages document, so it just pops right up. But that would be a different webinar. So you can copy that and share it into whatever domain, and then I'm going to go to my grid. So you'll see right here, my grid is created, and then I have my topics down here. This one populates for everybody when you add a new grid. So if you just want to click on that one, delete the topic, you can do that. So I know this is a lot of information, but I am going...
Lindsay, can you cover the Google Classroom? We have several questions on that. Can you go back and show how to share this on Google Classroom?
Yes. So if you click Share to Google Classroom, the classroom will pop up, and you just choose whatever course you want this to be attached to. And you can create it as an assignment, or you can create it as an announcement. I think that those would be the best options. And then you would just assign it here. If you want more information on that later, you can reach out to me through my email, and I can send you a specific tutorial on how to do that, or I can create one later and put it up on the question and answer Flipgrid. So before I have you guys get into more questions, I want to show you how to add a topic. The topic title is what the course is going to be about. So I'll just name it multiplication. Right down here are your directions for students, what you want them to do. Over here, you have an option for a recording time, and that is the maximum amount of time that you are allowing students to create their video. So a good thing to think about during your choice in this is like, how long is it going to take for students to actually complete the task? And also for an educator, how long do you want to sit and watch videos for? So just kind of two things to think about. I normally put it at about 1 minute, 30 seconds. Down at the bottom here, there's additional media resources that you can add to your topic. I like to add an emoji because that just defines the assignment for students. They can recognize that. There's one more piece that I really want to show in the more options. There's lots of different options for you. And since this is just a basic tutorial of Flipgrid, I'm not going to go into all of those right now. But the one that I really did want to show you is this video moderation option. Basically what this is it allows the teachers to get access to the videos before they are posted for the entire class to see. So if you click that to be on, you have the ability to say, oh, the content in this video is not something that I want to share with the entire class. If you don't click this, there is a way for you to hide the video that has been posted that you find that is not good content for students to access. And then again, there's a whole bunch of different features, but you can kind of explore those and then give me a shout out if you have any additional questions. So I create the topic. Again, I shared the grid course code, but this is a specific topic course code. So once they're in your grid, they will get all of these and you do not need to share these topics with students. However, if you feel like this is super important for the students and I need this done right away, then you would highlight and copy this, this link here and share it through, again, whatever platform you're using to contact students. And then this is what it looks like when you have a brand new page. You can record a response to start the discussion. And then students will have the ability to also upload their videos at this point. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and get back onto video and open it up for just kind of a quick little question and answer before we get into the play side of it, I guess I would say.
Good question just came in, is what grade level do you recommend this for?
Any grade level, actually, because it is so simple to use and you guys are going to be able to see that in just a minute. You'll be able to feel what it feels like to be a student. I really don't think that there is a specific age range that it's best for this. I really think it can be used with anybody. No, it isn't necessarily real-time socializing. It is a way for students to watch the videos when they have their own time. I've actually set up a Flipgrid with my family so that we can have conversations with each other, because not everybody has the time to jump on to a Google Hangout and dedicate that specific time. So you you can watch the videos of others and get that social interaction when it's convenient for you. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to do something for me here. I'm going to not share my video, and I'm going to go back into my screen. I am going to ask you to go into the document that I shared with you. And right here, there is a link to join the course. So if you could do that for me now, that would be great. I'm going to give you guys all a few minutes to access that and to get your Flipgrid account set up. Does this need to be dropped in chat again?
Please drop it in chat again. Thanks.
Yep, of course.
I don't know if this is a dumb question. Do you want us to actually do this assignment? Because then it's gonna.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I can, if you can see my screen right now, I've got my other grids. You can see my session from this morning. I had a whole bunch of participation here. And the reason I want to do this is so that you can feel what it feels like to be a student. So if they're having questions throughout, when they're using this, you will know how to answer those questions. And then my job on my end is to show you what it feels like to be a teacher. So I'm going to show you this one real quick.
Hey everybody, welcome to this webinar. The purpose of this portion of the webinar is to get a sense of what it feels like to be a student in Flipgrid and what it feels like to be a teacher in Flipgrid. I will be modeling the teacher side of this, and you will be participating as a student. As questions arise, please ask me through the question and answer doc, or I will have pauses in the presentation to share more information with you and get a chance for you guys to ask and answer questions. So what I am asking you to do right now is create a video of your own and state who you are, where you work, and possibly how you might use Flipgrid in your classroom. So I encourage everybody to do that right now. Thank you.
So if you want to go into the topic details, on your end of it, you will see a large green button, and that is what you click to create your video. It will, if your microphone is off on the Meet, nobody can hear you create your video or listen to other videos. So feel free to create your video and know that nobody is going to hear the background of it. And then you'll get an idea, a sense of what it looks like from the educator side. It will ask you to take a screenshot. I had somebody in my last session not want to do that part of it, but it is essential to get your topic or to get your video uploaded. So I'll give everybody a chance to do that.
I'm a special ed teacher at
Make
DCIS.
sure during this that your microphones are off.
I'm a special ed teacher at DCIS Fairmont. During this, that your microphones are loaded. So if everybody a chance to do that. I'm a special ed teacher.
I'm hearing some of the background of creating videos. So again, make sure that the microphones on your Google Meet are turned off for me. Thanks. So right now I can see that my video has been viewed 32 times. Luke's video has been viewed 18 times. David's has been viewed 11 times.
Lindsay, we have a couple questions about students editing and or deleting a video after they've posted it. What's your recommendations and or can they do that?
Yeah, they absolutely can. That was a question that came up in my session earlier today. I took a few.
I'm a special ed teacher at DCIS.
Sorry, I want to make sure those microphones are off. There we go. Thank you. I want to, sorry. I think it's better to just do this way for you guys to see. So what you're seeing here is a session that I had earlier today, and you see my name up in the corner. If you click that, it will take you to your own personal activity board. And in that activity board, you'll see your videos. When you scroll down, you can see the sessions that you're in. And the actions tab over here allows you to delete the video. So you can see here, you can hide the video, delete the video. If they want to download that selfie that they took because they're really happy with the way that it looks, they can also do that. Does that answer your question surrounding editing videos on your end of things? Hopefully.
Another question then, Kaylee, is the immersive reader, that blue button underneath the instructions, is that something that you need to turn on or is that an automatic?
Say that one more time.
The immersive reader that comes up below the instructions that you type, is that automatic?
At Joe Shoemaker School, and I think I will probably be using this. That's already using Flipgrid.
I'm sorry, somebody's microphone is on and I didn't hear the end of Luke's question there again. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, that blue button, scroll up to the top.
Yep.
That blue button for the immersive reader for the instructions, is that always there or is that something you have to activate?
Nope, that's always there.
Okay.
Yep. So if I go down, I'm going to use these examples down here at the bottom. You can see the views that David's had is 27, and then he also has 2 responses over here. So I'm going to show you what that looks like.
Hey everyone, I'm Luke Munt. I'm the digital regional coach for the Southeast region. I use Flipgrid with all ages. I really like it.
And then if I click on,
Thank you so much for your help with the technology. And it's going to be great for this couple months. So thank you.
so the student can then,
Thank you so much.
the student can then view both of these.
Hi everyone, I'm Luke Munt. I'm the digital.
As a teacher, you can give your video feedback over here. And like I said before, you can post the grading for the specifics that you're looking for as a teacher, or you can add detailed comments for students to access. If I wanted to give video feedback, I would just record my session. Hey, you did a great job with your presentation. I'm really excited to hear more from you about this topic. And then you would click next. Take your selfie.
Do you take a selfie each time you do a video?
Yes, I don't know why Flipgrid does that, but you absolutely do. So now this feedback is shared with Luke, and he has real-time feedback from me. I know that there's a ton of other questions probably popping up, but I did want to share one more thing with you. I had the question of, what if students are feeling uncomfortable with sharing their face on the screen to everybody else? So there's different options that they can choose down here for filters. There is a pixelated view here. So the student can still make their video, but they feel a little bit hidden, I guess you would say. They can clear the filter here. They can also put an emoji over their face so that when they're sharing their video, they feel confident with that. Another great feature here is you can draw on the screen, so they can highlight information. They also can pull in, I don't know what screencast I have over here. So when they are recording their session, if they took a picture of their work or they created a piece of artwork they wanted to share with you, they could put that on their screen, and then, like, say there was, like, I don't know, something they wanted to highlight for you to see, they could put that right there. They can add text to their video so that you can see that as well. So I'm going to open it to other questions. I also would really encourage you to go into somebody else's video that you are seeing through this thread. We have a whole bunch of them going on. So I would say go into at least 2 and submit a comment that way. And at this time, I guess while you guys are doing that, I will open up the session for other questions that you have.
I just had a quick question. Do you think you could use this for quizzes or tests or something like that if there's short responses?
Absolutely. I think that that would be something that they could use for sure. Walking through like a how-to tutorial. So if they had their piece of paper and they're like, these are the steps that I went through, that would be a great way for them to explain their thinking around a topic. So yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One is, you talked about the video moderation. Does that include student-to-student replies? So would I have access to check those replies before they get posted to the students' original videos?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. And then my second question is, can you talk a little bit more about what the focus icons are for? When you create a topic, sorry.
I'm going to present this again, and then you can kind of direct me to where you're thinking. So
when you create a topic, and you said you liked to put like emojis, the emoji focus on it.
Yeah, so the emoji focus is down here. That admit one was just an emoji that was available. So
so that's what appears on the edge of the topic when kids are like logging onto the grid. They would see those icons on the side. It doesn't really have anything to do, I mean, it has to do with, but it doesn't really have anything to do with, I don't have to like, I get, okay, I think I understand what it means.
Here, let me do this really quick. I'm just going to do that. Create my topic. So now you can see that there's not like a focus here. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Lindsay, I have a question for elementary school teachers. Would you recommend one grid for the entire class, or would you do different grids for each of the subjects?
Me personally, after being an elementary school educator, I would do it for, I would have one for math, one for literacy, one for like maybe small group reading, but it really is personal preference. Since you have your topics here, they can always go in and you can have this one labeled math and then colon day 1, and then you can have the next topic be literacy colon day 2. So it's really personal preference on how many Flipgrids you want to look at during the school day.
Okay. Would it be easier for students to access, because it looks like the topics end up just being a running list in order of the time that they were posted?
Mm-hmm.
So if I were naming them with the title of whatever subject it was, they could access it all on one grid.
Yes. And there's a way, if you're seeing my screen right now, there's a way I'm just clicking on the topic, holding, and then moving it. So if you're like, whoa, this one was day 1, I need it down here because now it's day 5. And I need day 5 to be at the top. That's what they'll see at the very top of the screen.
Okay. And then another question, is there any way for students to, like, at a glance, see what they have done and what they have not responded yet to?
Yeah, so that would be in that, hold on, sorry, I'm going to log in with my... So this is what they'll see. And these are all the videos that they have access to. Thank you all for doing that. It's so much fun when we get to interact with each other. There's a drop down here that they can see the different topics. And then if they click their name, they can go into My Flipgrid. And again, I have to log in, sorry. And they can see that these were the courses or the grids that they're attached to. And these are all the videos that they've created. So this is a way that they can see what they've done and what they haven't done. It's also really fun because you can see how many times the video was viewed, how many replies there are, how many likes there are. And then again, there's that action of deleting, hiding, and that would be deleting and hiding it from the actual grid. If they wanted to share it with you directly, they would just click this link here and then send it to you, because then it would be a private link to the video that only the person that it was sent to can view. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful.
I don't know if you answered this earlier, but when I first created a Flipgrid yesterday, it said something about getting parent permission from parents, like that there was like a form or something that they should fill out. Do we need to do that as for like legal safeguards, or what is your recommendation around that?
My recommendation around that is to talk to your specific admin. They probably have different requirements around that or expectations around that. If you personally feel like you're like, I want my parents to give permission for their students to use this, you could create a simple Google form that you could send to them, or through an email ask them for permission, because we can't really do paper sharing right now. So those are two options. This is approved by DPS, and it's, how am I trying to say that? DPS has said, yes, this is a good platform to use with students.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Lindsay, I'll add on there. I'm going to drop in a link in the chat to the academic technology menu. If you report on the academic technology menu, that is pushed out to all the school. Kaylee beat me to it to get it on the ATM. That is pushed out then to all the school websites. And then if you just go in there and say, I'm using Flipgrid on that, that covers you legally for the data privacy law.
Any more questions out there? I know that we're getting toward the end of our session. I have one more thing that I want to share as a resource for you, but I really do want to get specific questions answered. So.
Hey, Lindsay, a lot of people are asking about how students can like a video.
Okay, that is through when you're creating your topic. That's one of those additional, excuse me. That's one of the additional features that are in that more features link. So you can turn on whether they can like it or not like it. Does that answer the question? Hopefully. Okay, I'm seeing kind of, makes a little sense. Nope, not at all. So I will again present this. I'll turn my camera off and share my screen with you, and I'll walk you through that. And then I will give you my final piece of essential resources around Flipgrid for you to access. So if I'm in my grid and I want to create a new topic, I'm just going to type in things to get this. You would go into the more options. Right here is a tip. So you can give your students a little hint. You can do that video monitoring. This here, it's the student-to-student replies. You can turn those off or on. Down here is what you're talking about. So the likes, these are the video features. So if I say, yes, I am going to allow other students to like the videos, you can do that there. Feedback, you might have questions around that as well. This option is building custom feedback. So then you could add your criteria for the rubric. So that when you are viewing the student submission, you have specific criteria there. Does that better answer the question? Hopefully.
Can students only respond to each other using videos, or is there like a commenting option, like a written comment?
From what I've seen, it's only through videos, but again, they could pixelate their screen and then just use the text option to make a text box if they didn't want to talk at all. I had somebody else do that earlier today, where they pixelated themselves, put their answer here. I'll just show you instead of trying to explain it. So they just turn on the pixelated, and then you choose whatever text you want, and here is where they would record their response to the other person. So this, they wouldn't have to speak at all. You would just hear the typing. As I'm here, they can click the information. If they forget what they're supposed to be making their video about, they can do that here. There's also, a way to add a sticky note to their video as well. So thinking about when you grade these, or if you want to see a list of everybody's responses, you can export the data. And then I can see in real time everybody's submissions, how long their videos are, how long or how many times it's been viewed. The scoring is right here. So you would see their feedback scores in this column here. So if you were grading and entering grades into Google Classroom or into Schoology, you could just have double tabs open and enter it easily that way. I know I've been talking a lot on this, and I'm sorry, but I did want to show you the Disco library. I highly suggest you check this out, because what the Disco library is just a place for people to publish topics that they think are useful for other teachers around the world. And you can just take these topics and add them to your classroom grid. So they're pre-created topics that you can use with your kiddos. And there's just tons of resources here. So if you're like, oh my God, I don't know where to start, start at the Disco library.
If I add something from the Disco library, do those responses from students only get posted into our grid?
Right. So it's just like taking a Google Doc and making a copy, and now it's yours. So nobody has access that had accessed it before has access to it now. So if I did one of these learning from Holmes, would you rather, I could say, select my grid. I want to put it on the one that we're doing right now. You can add it. And this is a chance for you to just kind of like look through what is expected of the students. And if you're like, oh, that is not at all what I thought it was supposed to be, you could just delete the topic down here or just cancel. And it gives you a chance to edit the content that the students would see as well. So basically it turns it into yours instead of the other person's.
Hey, Lindsay, we've had a couple questions if students can respond to each other with text, or if they can only respond to each other with video.
Yep, so if we went into mine here, and again, I'm going to use, right now, I've got my Luke's. I can watch this, and then I can reply here. Again, you could use the text box, but it can't be just a comment that they would see Kaylee and Luke, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, that it's a video platform, so that they would have to filter their face and then add in their
It's a video platform, and we keep having people ask about, like different comments and stuff. You just have to know that Flipgrid is about getting your students interacting with each other using video, and that's the specific need for this tool. If you want them like writing replies to each other, you might want to do that in your like Google Classroom or something. But this is a video tool.
Exactly.
Earlier, you mentioned being able to kind of approve the student-to-student comments in the setting where you were able to activate student-to-student comments or not. How did those, how does that work? Does it always ask you for permission? Or is there like, I don't know, tell me more about that.
Well, let me just show you. I will use this one. And then Kaylee and Luke, if you guys could go in and create a recording for this, that would be awesome. So this is another focus area where they put in just a running, looks like a GIF for a video, instead of using the emoji icon. Any other questions while they are creating those for me to model how to share or not share content?
Can you drop that link into the chat or something?
Mm-hmm. Nope, there. As they are doing that, I encourage everybody, I'm going to put this document into the chat again as well. I encourage everybody to fill out the webinar survey. It gives me feedback, and I really enjoy having that feedback of what went well or what you would have liked to see. Also, feel free to email me at any time. My email is here. Also, you can continue to post questions into this document, and I will answer them, because I know once you get started using Flipgrid with your students, you might encounter a few questions that you didn't know that you had.
Where is that at? Where is that document at? I'm sorry, I came in like 5 minutes after class started.
Oh, I just dropped it into the chat in the corner. Do you see it here?
Okay. I see it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So feel free to reach out to me when you are using this with students. This isn't a one-time thing where you're getting this information from me and then you're not getting any more support. I really am open to emails from everybody, and I will keep a watch on the question and answer document that I just posted in the chat throughout the next coming weeks for you to access.
I submitted a response for you, Lindsay. So you can go ahead and
Wonderful.
approve
Thank you.
that moderated one.
So that will be kind of our last topic before we stop here. If you are somebody that is good to go, thank you for coming to this session, and reach out if you need anything else in the future. So here you can see that the video is hidden. it doesn't automatically populate. So what I would have to do as a teacher, I would go in and I would view this video and say, oh yeah, it is good for the class to see. Or I'm like, nah, I don't think that that is an appropriate video. I can go in and give this student feedback and say, I need you to re-record this. Or if I say, yep, it's an awesome video, I can go into making it active for the students to see. Does that answer the question? Hopefully. Yes, so all the responses go to the teacher first, absolutely. If there are no more questions, I thank you so much for all being here today. You are tremendous, and thank you for everything that you're doing for our students. And I wish you all the best. Please reach out if you need anything else.
Hey, Lindsay, can you clarify how to make it moderated?
How to make what moderated? I'm sorry.
So like if it's a moderated grid that the video goes to the teacher first, or if all videos go to the teacher first?
Yep, so that is, let me. That is highlighted here. So you would go into the more options when you're adding a new topic, and you would click this for the students' videos to be monitored. Does that answer the question? Wonderful. All right, well, that's all that I have for you guys. It looks like our time is up here. So thank you so much for everything. And best of luck to everybody in the next coming weeks. It'll be a fun road for us.
And Lindsay, just FYI that we're starting our debrief meeting. So jump to the chat and get the link for that.